Ax or ask, Donda's rules, suit shoes. McClendonReport.com.
Mayor McClendon, Senator McClendon, Alderman McClendon. Can you give me a job? Nah, because your last name isn't McClendon or Jones or Daly or Madigan. The flavors of the day are nepotism, cronyism, or to be more polite, name recognition. Emil Jones Jr. thinks that Emil III deserves a chance. But what about qualifications? Tonight on Garrard McClendon Live, is it fair to be anointed, appointed, and elected because of your last name? Welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. Hey, should your last name or family membership play a role in holding public office? Joining me to discuss name recognition in politics are former Cook County Commissioner and President Bobbie Steele and State Senator Dan Cronin from the 21st District, DuPage. Welcome to the show, you two.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad to be here, Gerard. Thank you.
I appreciate you showing up. Hey, first of all, before the fireworks start, I want to get some housekeeping out of the way, and I want to go over both of your qualifications before I get into the first question. Now, Bobbie Steele, once the president, always the president. That's what I'm calling you today, Miss Steele, president. You've been to Alabama A&M. You went to Chicago Teachers College. I mean, CPS 20 years. You were friends with my good friend, Mayor Washington, first female Cook County president, League of Women Voters, links, it goes on and on. You know,
Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority.
Oh my, you AKA, oh my goodness, we got to talk after the show. You were also inducted into the Chicago Women's Hall of Fame.
Correct.
President Steele, should a candidate, and we can get to Emil Jones later on, but should a candidate have minimum qualifications or certain qualifications before they can even enter an election?
I think so. And I think that those names that you have mentioned who might be looking forward to being appointed have qualifications.
Yes. Now, let me go to you, Dan Cronin. When it comes to qualifications, should a person running for office have certain qualifications? I'm looking at you, state senator, chairman of the Republican Party. You know, you went to Northwestern, Loyola. Talk to me, Cronin.
Well, of course you should have qualifications. You know, I mean, I don't think somebody's last name should be a strike against them. But of course you should have qualifications, and you should have a commitment and an involvement, and you should be able to bring your credentials before the public. You know, people who are interested in politics, it's not uncommon for families to share that interest in politics. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how you go about it, I think, is the more important question.
Yes. Now, President Steele, let's go right to Emil Jones. We got Emil Jones Jr. saying, hey, give my son a shot. Emil III. We had a similar situation with current President Todd Strozier. What are some of your thoughts on that, Ms. Steele?
Well, I think every mother and every father wants their child to be successful, and they want them to follow in their footsteps to carry on the legacy. Doctors want their sons to be and daughters to be doctors in most instances. Teachers want their children to be teachers. Lawyers want their children to be lawyers. And in our society, we accept that, except in political office. Lawyers, and you know, there are many lawyers whose sons are partners in the law firm.
Yes.
There are many doctors whose sons are also practicing law. But what about the profession of being an elected official?
Right.
These children are children who have endured the absentee of parents. They have endured the hard work and shared the hard work that their parents have done in office, and they have been mentored just by the mere fact that they were there.
Yes.
And if they have qualifications, I'm saying, why not?
Yes, ma'am. 630-575-TALK is the number, 630-575-TALK. I want to ask this question to Senator Cronin and President Steele. I'm looking at a situation here where Emil Jones III. He has no college degree. He was working for just under $60,000 a year as an administrator for Governor Blagojevich's Department of Commerce. This is recorded by the Sun-Times source David McKinley and Chris Fusco. Should people question Emil Jones III's qualification? Dan.
Well, Gerard, Mrs. Steele makes a point that I feel compelled to respond to. Of course, a doctor is proud to promote the profession and have one of his children or one of her children follow in his or her footsteps. And because that doctor or that lawyer has done a good job and because they've earned a good reputation in the community, those are all good things. And to promote the profession with your children is also a good thing, no doubt about it. But I think that promoting your child or opening a door for him is a far cry from manipulating the system and putting your son in a place where he has a decided or she has a decided advantage. And I think that alienates voters. I think it turns people off about the process and the system. And I think it's really, I think it's wrong.
Okay, you open up a can of worms. Bobbie Steele, Senator Cronin says that decided advantage can be somewhat unfair. Do you agree?
Well, the person
Manipulating the system is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know about how the system is being
Well, there's
manipulated.
nobody else that could run for Emil Jones's office now. Is
Wait
that
a minute.
correct?
Wait a minute, Senator. Let President Steele continue.
I don't know what is being done to manipulate the system, so I can't address that issue. But I do know that there are committeemen that are involved that are in that district that will have to make that decision. It's not a one-man's operation. And it's up to the committeeman to make that decision.
Yeah,
Do you think anybody else will get the job?
Well, here's the deal. Let me break this down right quick. I'm reading in the Tribune and in the Sun-Times today, and it was interesting because they mentioned a Ray Wardingley, a Chicago Republican, was quoted by saying, "What is this, Russia? First it was Strozier, then Lipinski, now Emil Jones." It's a possibility that Emil Jones III will be running against this candidate, Ray Wardingley. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth. I went to Ray Wardingley's website today. Emil Jones III has been dodging the press. Quite frankly, I don't know if I would vote for either of these candidates. Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I'm not here to promote any other candidate. I'm just here to offer a thought about the process when one legislator, in this case Senator Jones, whom I have respect for, who steps down, but he does it in such a way that there really are no other options. I mean, he didn't do it and announce it at a time when other people could go out and file a petition, get the signatures, run in the primary. I mean, that's playing by the rules. That's okay. And if you want to promote your son in that election and help him out and use your good name, I think that's within the acceptable bounds of behavior. I think once you wait for the deadlines to come and go and no one else really has a chance, and you have these people who are going to be greatly influenced by your request to appoint your son. I mean, I think we're gaming the system now, and I think we've crossed the line.
You know what? Going back to Bobbie Steele, then I have to go to break. Bobbie Steele, President Steele, when it comes to Daley and Madigan, it seems as if people excuse those people by saying, hey, go ahead.
I was about to say, one of the biggest problems I have with this, I'm not here to promote a candidate either, because I don't know either one of them. But I do know that there are some people who can go into office and succeed family members and nothing is said. I'm thinking of Rosemont now.
Yes, ma'am.
The mayor of Rosemont passed away. His son came in, there was nothing said. And I believe his other son is a chief of fire, chief of police out there. So, it seems to be that in some instances, there's a big question mark of whether or not this is nepotism.
Yes.
And in other cases, it's expected.
That's a great point. President Steele, hold on tight. I got Bobbie Steele and Dan Cronin. Welcome back to Garrard McClendon Live. Wow, the land of Lincoln, Steve says, to the land of nepotism, cronyism. 630-575-TALK is the number, 630-575-TALK. You're watching Garrard McClendon live on CLTV. I've got Senator Dan Cronin, 21st District, DuPage State Senator. I also have President Bobbie Steele in the house. I'm going back to the phones. I'm going to Kitty. Kitty, thank you for calling Garrard McClendon live. What is your comment?
Hi. Nepotism in politics is scandalous as far as I'm concerned. I believe that if your child is so qualified, then let them stand on his or her own. Senator Cronin is correct. Nepotism gives an unfair advantage and does alienate voters. I, for one, am just sickened by all these people bringing in their kids.
But Kitty, let me ask you this though. What if you have a child that enjoys politics, that's a public servant, that wants to serve the constituents in that particular area? I mean, is that a strike against the child that we shouldn't put?
It's not a strike against him. I have no problem with them being interested in politics, but how about you come up from the ground up like anybody else would? That gives you more credibility in my mind.
I appreciate that phone call. Thank you so much. Bobbie Steele, you want to comment on that?
Well, I'm thinking about the Kennedys. The Kennedys, the Bush, people of that caliber, no one ever questioned whether or not the kids were qualified. We have a president who set this country back years. Nobody's ever said that was nepotism. His brother was a governor
Now see,
of Florida when he won, and Florida is a state that brought him into office. Nobody hollered nepotism.
look, why did I invite the first female county commissioner president on the show tonight? You are blowing this thing up. See, so there's a double standard, President Steele?
Double standard all the way across the board. And I think that we should start at the federal level.
Yes. Appreciate that. I'm going back to the phones. I'm going to Frank. Thank you for calling Garrard McClendon Live. What's your comment?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Excellent.
Great. You know what? I agree with both parties. Senator Cronin is a great guy, and Ms. Steele is a beautiful person. But my thing is called evaluation. Okay, you can evaluate candidates every 2 to 4 years, and it's called an election.
That's right. That's true.
Frank.
So I mean, if they get in, the people can open the door for them, but they're going to stay in on their merits.
Frank, thank you so much.
Nobody brought that up. It's evaluation.
Wow. Thanks for the call, Frank. Appreciate that. Senator Cronin, I know Bobbie Steele wants to get in, but Senator Cronin, he's got a good point here. You want to chime in?
Well, no, I don't, I mean, there's a lot of legitimate points. I think you have to look at the facts of each individual case. And, I think in this case, the only problem, I mean, I think families that are interested in politics is a good thing. I mean, my family's interested in politics. I have brothers and sisters, and I have children that are interested, and if they want to run for office someday, God bless them. And I think there's an appropriate way to offer assistance, and then there's a line. And I think in this case, with all due respect to the Senate President, I think when you waited till after the period of time so that no one else could file a petition, that it was done strictly by an appointment process, and it was done with people who are beholden to him, I think it crossed the line.
Yeah.
I think if he wanted to promote his son and announce that you're going to step down before the filing deadline, give him and then go out and talk about what a great kid your son is. I mean, you can do that, but I think he used the system here unfairly.
So, Dan, you're saying that timing was the issue in terms of advantage?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there was a purposeful, deliberate act here that we, waited for the deadline to come and go, so no one else could run. And the same thing would happen with Todd Stroger. So, I think here's the problem. And I'm not here. I just think what it does is it turns off the public. We have fewer and fewer people voting in elections. Fewer and fewer people are concerned. Fewer and fewer people read the paper. They're turned off by the process.
Yeah.
And I think this is is what contributes to it. People withdraw, they don't. And so what happens is fewer and fewer people are engaged in the process and care. The process deteriorates even further.
That's exactly why Garrard McClendon Live is on the air, so that we can give people freedom of speech, the First Amendment, and so we can disseminate information. And still to come, more phone calls and Illinois politics. Are you swayed by name recognition? Drop the remote control and call me. Welcome back to Garrard McClendon Live. Hey, we're on CLTV. You can give me a call, 630-575-TALK is the number. I've got President Bobbie Steele in the house, and I also have Senator Dan Cronin. I'm going back to the phone shortly, but first I'm going to speak with Bobbie Steele about this. President Steele, you did amazing work. We appreciate your efforts for what you did, but you came in at a time when some people may have accused you of taking a balloon payment pension. What do you have to say to those people?
I would say to those people, I did not write the law. I decided to retire. And at the time that I retired, I was president. At the time I made that decision, I was president. And I didn't write the law.
That's right.
So I followed the law and went home to take care of my husband.
You didn't hear it from Garrard McClendon Live. You heard it from Bobbie Steele. You didn't hear it from anyone else. So look, if people start some hearsay about President Steele, they can't do that because she said it here live on the show. I'm going to Ray. Ray, welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. What's your question or comment?
Well, I have a comment to the statement that President Bobbie Steele made. First of all, she was talking about Bush and Republicans. You know, just because the public made a mistake and let them get away with murder, it seemed like she's saying that the voters should turn their back on the Democrats and let them get away with murder too.
Ray, she's not saying that. Don't twist her words now,
No.
Ray. She's just saying that there are families that benefit by taking care of people in the family. That, you know, you can call them dynasties, you can call them kingdoms. That's what she's saying. Don't put words in her mouth now.
Okay, well, this is not, being a politician is not a family-owned business. I can see if you owned a particular business and your son was coming up through the business. Being a politician, you should be voted in office by the people.
Okay, Ray, that's valid. I appreciate that. You got a rebuttal for that, Ms. Steele?
I think Ray is right on target, and I appreciate his comment. And that's the one privilege we do have in this country as citizens of the country. Those of us who are registered voters can vote.
Yes, I'm going to...
And that's what tells the story.
Yes, ma'am.
You know?
I'm going to Gigi on the phones. Gigi, welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. Question or comment?
I have a comment.
Yes.
My comment is just towards the whole situation in itself regarding nepotism. It's just that, okay, if you look at what's going on with Emil Jones III, say if you put my resume there and you put his and you took both our names off the resume and you looked at my qualifications and you looked at his and I was a better candidate, you would probably say, oh, okay, here you go. This is a person that can be in office. But you put my name on there and you put his, it's like I'm going to have to take a step back just because who his father is and that he's putting his son's name out there. So people may look more towards him. Oh, okay, well, his father has the experience. He's already been here, but there's no guarantee that your son will follow in your footsteps. You say you don't have a high school, you have a high school diploma. You don't have experience in the situation, so what can you offer in this position at this point, besides your father's name?
Gigi, thank you so much for the call. You know, I thought of a similar situation earlier with, and think about this, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at Oberweis has been running for all of these offices, but he's been losing. Now, if Oberweis changed his name to a name that's popular in Illinois politics, he just might win. I'm taking one more phone call. Willie, thank you for calling Garrard McClendon Live. Quickly, question or comment?
Hello?
Yes, Willie.
Yes, I would like to speak on the nepotism because I'm not against nepotism if the person that's selected is qualified. We don't want to need another situation like the Cook County Board, where they brought strangers in who knew nothing about the county and has messed up everything, raised the people taxes. That's the thing I have against nepotism.
Hey, Willie, thank you so much for your call. I'm going to need a closing statement from Bobbie Steele and Dan Cronin. Bobbie Steele, talk to me.
Well, I would just say, repeat what I said earlier, that there is a process where everybody can participate, and that is in the election. So I would urge everybody who isn't registered, to get out there and register, let your voice be heard, those that are registered continue to vote.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ms. Steele. And Dan Cronin, final comment.
Well, we're in the business of public service. These are not businesses that we own. I think we have a duty and an obligation to follow the rules. It's convenient to say the election, but there's only going to be one person's name on the ballot for the next election. That will be Emil Jones the third, and I think that's wrong. It's unfair.
Yeah.
It turns voters off. I think it's a disservice.
Yes, Dan Cronin, Bobbie Steele, thanks for being on Garrard McClendon Live. I'm partial to both of you. Dan Cronin, because you went to Loyola, so did I. And Bobbie Steele, I was just honored by Lakeshore Links. I appreciate that you can make sound decisions. Last names may be familiar, but not always best for your neighborhood, county, and state. That's Garrard McClendon Live for tonight. I appreciate my guests, Senator Cronin and President Steele. Keep your head up, always be encouraged, and remember, always be positive. Have a good evening.
Ask or ask, Donda's rules, suit yours. McClendonreport.com.